My name's Alfie, I'm 14 years old and I live with my two brothers and my parents. I love playing rugby, I just love it so much. I'm quite a shouty person when it comes to sport. I just take the leading role even if I'm not captain. Last year I was diagnosed with a condition called chronic granulomatous disorder. CGD is a genetic disorder which I got from birth. It's a really rare condition where only 1 in 250,000 people have it. Having CGD means that some of the white blood cells in my blood don't make the natural disinfectant my body needs to fight off the infections. This means that when some certain bacteria or fungi come into the body, I can't fight them off, making me seriously ill, or in some extreme cases, they may kill me. I found out I had CGD because last year I had a serious case of pneumonia and they tried a load of antibiotics to try cure it, but none of it was working. So they ended up running a lot of tests. When I got diagnosed with CGD, it was a big shock for me and my family. We were intrigued to find out what can we do, but the only thing we can do to cure it is a bone marrow transplant. In order to have a transplant, I need to find someone who has a tissue match. My brother Henry, he's a perfect match. It's quite rare to have a donor that's your brother, and there's only a 1 in 3 chance of that happening. Well, they're suppressing my immune system so they can give me my brother's stem cells and put them in me, and then they'll start to grow in me, and then my immune system will grow from that. Before they can do that, they've got to get rid of mine, which is where the chemotherapy comes in. So how'd you feel when you found out that you were the match?
I was just happy to be able to help you get, sort this problem out. So you'll be in isolation in hospital for 6 to 8 weeks.
I guess it sounds like heaven, lying in bed and playing FIFA and not doing anything, sleeping, eating. But I've been in isolation before and it's just not like that at all. It's a scary time.
Hello, Alfie.
Hello.
I'm Simonetta.
Being in hospital, it can make you feel quite bad sometimes, knowing it makes you feel quite down when you see people, who, haven't got the hair because of the chemotherapy, and there's so many people who've gone through long periods of illness in their life like I have. In that way, it's all good because we all have something in common. So tomorrow I'm having this PICC line put in, similar to this, but it will just trail up my arm, slowly pass through a tiny, tiny tube, which goes in your vein all the way across next to your heart, and the chemotherapy goes straight in.
So while that dries, Alfie, if you could leave your arm like that. So this one's going over your arm. You thought you had to put your hand through there, didn't you, for a minute? No, everybody always thinks that. So what I'm going to do now is put an injection to numb the skin underneath. Are you ready? Yeah. Here goes. Sorry to hurt you. And then I'm going to inject now, so this will be sore, I'm afraid, Alfie. The good thing is it won't last for long.
wiggling your toes.
So, not too bad? Good. You probably still feel something?
No.
Don't feel anything? Excellent. So I'm just going to keep pressing for a minute or two. I'll just whip this up, and that's the whole job done. PICC line in.
Morning, my name is Vicky Grandage. I'm one of the adolescent transplant consultants. So we're meeting today because I want to talk through the transplant protocol a little bit with you, and I know you've heard a lot of this before. What we call the conditioning is the treatment that you have before you have the stem cells coming back.
Chemotherapy is something tagged with cancer, but now having to take this in order to get rid of CGD. It does make you lose your hair, but I don't really mind, you know, you just gotta get on with it.
And we count the days before the cells going back as minus days and after the cells going back as plus days. So tomorrow is day -8 for you, so 8 days before the cells go back. And the point of the conditioning is it's partly about dampening down your immune system, and it's partly about trying to make a bit of space in the bone marrow for the new marrow to come in. Now, side effect wise, because it's full of proteins, it can have a few side effects while you're actually having the infusion. So long term tends not to have any. But actually whilst you're having the infusion, you can get fevers and headaches and shivers and shakes. And some people do have significant reactions to it. The busulfan, which you have on day -4, day -3 and day -2, is a more typical chemotherapy drug. And that is one that can make you feel a little bit sick. And it has some of the other side effects of the chemotherapy drugs. Likely during this time that you're going to go off your food. It's likely during this time that we might need to either help you with some feeding through an NG tube or through a drip. And actually getting back to eating and drinking is one of the things that takes a while afterwards.
It's the night before conditioning and getting nervous, getting well nervous, but I'm up for it. So today is the 3rd day of my chemotherapy and I'm getting the ATG today. I had a trial run yesterday and I felt kind of sick after, so feeling kind of nervous, and I may now be room bound, so ultimately isolation. And I've been on the chemotherapy today for a long time, for a good 12 hours, and I still got a good 5 hours and 24 minutes to go. So I'm kind of gutted, but oh well, I'm gonna be asleep while it's happening, so yeah, that's my diary for today. I had a 12-hour drip last night and that was quite long and annoying, but I feel alright, apart from a little weird taste in my mouth, like a dusty taste. It's pretty weird, but apart from that, I've been fine. So I'm about to take my anti-sickness tablets, and it's only 4 today when I usually have a lot more. Like earlier I had 8, and I got my fruit smoothie here to take it with, so it goes down nice and easy.
Alfie's been up and down a bit today. He has been awake and he's had a little bit to eat. But he's had quite a bit of kind of nausea and sickness today, and I've had a mixture of different drips and tablets to help cope with that. We're due for Henry to come and visit. His operation to harvest the bone marrow is tomorrow, so he comes in the night before. Just got to keep them so they don't get sore. Come in. Hey guys, Louise. Hi.
How's the day? How are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah?
We've got 3 of these bad boys.
They are actually still a little bit warm. This is your brother. Okay? So we're just going to infuse it through your cannula. Yeah? Yeah? Good to go? Right, there's that going up.
I'd like to travel the world. And traveling the world with this condition be a bit hard because you don't know what's what, and you might be picking up something that you don't know. And it's good that I'm having the transplant because I can do all the stuff I can do. But I think the main thing I'm looking forward to is just getting it over with and just not having it anymore.
Right, mate. How are you feeling this morning, mate?
Yeah, good. Bit sick-like, but I'm tired. I slept pretty much all day yesterday. Henry stayed last night, and it was really fun. And in the next few days, I might be getting really ill because right now I'm neutropenic, which means my levels of my immune system are really low, if like closer enough to nothing. I've got mucositis, and that means, as you can tell in my voice, I've got mucus in my throat and my mouth are inflamed, and it hurts to swallow and that. So it's about a month after transplant, and I'm doing pretty well. I'm starting to eat again. The pain in my mouth is gone, so I can now swallow really well, which is good. Like swallow like normal. Yeah, I'm on the mend.
What's happening here, Christy?
So I'm just attaching Alfie to his magnesium infusion, which will run over 2 hours, and then hopefully we can kick him out afterwards. Because this is the last thing we have to do before you can be an outpatient.
Yeah.
That first day when I came out of hospital, it was really good. Like one of the best days ever. That hospital room, tiny room, feels like home. It's incredibly weird. It just generally feels like I have come a long way. Although I'm back home, I still do have to be careful about where hygiene is. I can't go near anyone who's been ill within like the past 48 hours because they could pass on like a cough or a cold to me. And I still have to take tablets, which is pretty annoying, but I've been doing it for quite a while now and you kind of get used to it, but it won't be long until finally off them. I'm still not allowed on public transport, so I'm looking forward to the day I can go on a train or a bus. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm still going up for checkups back in London. That's all right, it's not that bad. It's every 3 weeks now, which isn't bad at all. So when I go back for checkups, I get blood staking to check my cyclosporin level, which is, cyclosporin is an immunosuppressant just to stop my body's blood from fighting against Henry's. And so if that happens, then I get a disease called graft versus host disease. And so we've got to slowly lower the amount of cyclosporin because it reduces my immune system still. When the cyclosporin finishes, I can go back on transport and my immune system will be back to normal, really, and just a normal life from there on in. The one thing I'm most looking forward to is going back to school. I've got quite a bit of work to catch up on, but really if I put my head to it, I can really get on with it quickly and it should be a walk in the park. I'm seeing my friends as often as I can. Luckily enough now it's some holidays, so I can see them really often, which is really good. Another thing I'm looking forward to is definitely my sports. Rugby, cannot wait. As soon as I can play a full match of rugby, then I'll know that I have passed BMT and it's all behind me and I can just continue with my life now. That'd be really good, looking forward to that. Definitely worth having the BMT, just to get rid of that condition. It's definitely worth it. I'm CGD free now, it's just making my life a whole lot easier.
All right, hang on, let me do it.